Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. Happy Cinco de Mayo to anyone who's out there who celebrates it. And it is going to be a preview video for the upcoming event, which is also called Cinco de Mayo. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards. We're going to talk about the skills of the cards, and I'll try and explain a little bit. We'll do a pack pull as well to see if we can get any cards from it so I can showcase how it works as well. And then we will also talk about the news feeds, what are some of the things to look for, what does it mean. But mostly what I'm hoping to be able to do is to show you how the deck actually works. So without further ado, let's go and do our pack opening. We're going to be able to get up to tier 4 today. So let's do just that. We're going to start with tier 1 right now. So this one is going to give us, let's see, 50 evolution coins, and given I don't have VIP right now, I don't get any extra cards, so that's the only thing we get. So then we're going to go on to tier 2. This one's going to give us a guaranteed support card, and hopefully with any luck, within this 4 tiers, I can hopefully get one of the 2 gold cards that I can showcase here. So we'll see what happens here. So we have the support card. This is a Juanita the Dancer. And so that is the support card. Then I get a couple of other cards which are older generation 2 cards. Unfortunately, not going to be very useful for us for this particular event. And then we're going to go and take a look at tier 3 now. So tier 3 is where we're going to be guaranteed 1 relic. And let's see what else comes along with that. So here's tier 3. And we're going to get our relic, which is a crack shot rifle. So this is the main event relic, and then let's take a look and see what other cards that we get here. So we get Cobra King, which is again an older ultra rare card from Generation 2 days. Would have been a good card to use back in the days, but it's not as useful at this point, unfortunately. All right, so we have just enough to do a tier 4, so we're gonna go ahead and open that up. So this is going to give us a guaranteed main event hero. And also, I believe, another relic here. So we'll see at least 1 relic and 1 event hero. And let's see what else we can pull as well. So this is the main event hero, which is Desperado Hernan. And so let's see. And if you notice as well, these cards are also bounty hunter cards. So we have the main event relics, another crack shot rifle. So we get 2 of them for this particular event. And then we have Osiris and more Kane and more keys. And unfortunately, that is going to be it for this particular pull. So not a great pull here. Everything is all guaranteed. So I could only show you the support card and the main event card. But really, the power is going to be in the actual ultimate form. So let's talk about the skills of this deck, and we'll see whether it is worth getting. And if you do get it, what will work best with that team. So this is the ultimate form, Mariachi Marauders. And this is an Earth Beast Killer Commander deck. And you can see here it's a bounty hunter. And because bounty hunter event is on right now, it is at 15 times bounty hunter bonus. So if you have this, definitely use these cards to do your bounty hunter event. It ends at reset when the event starts. And so this way you'll be able to get more of the bounty hunter trophies so they can earn your rewards easier. All right, so let's talk about the skills here. The first one, which I want to kind of call out here, is that the Instrument Investigator only works during this particular event. So it specifically calls out during the Cinco de Mayo event. This hero's bounty hunter skill also applies to instrument clues. So that means that it's only applicable for this event. After this event is done, this passive skill will no longer be applicable. So keep that in mind. All right, so the battle skill here, what it does is it creates 4 power gen force right away. And then for the next 2 turns, you're going to have an increased Earth Commander damage by 80%. So we're seeing more of the Commander damage boost in these cards now. This one is going to give you 80% increase for 2 turns straight. And if you have another card that also activates any attack or damage buff, then it's going to create additional power gen 5s. But the difference here is only Earth Commander cards will be able to trigger this. If you use a fire card or a water card or anything else that creates a attack boost, then it's not going to give you that additional power gen 5s. So keep that in mind. And it says here, every time you activate Revive or Last Stand, increase the buff by 40% up to 160%. So the way to understand this is that it's not that you're going to get the buff but you're going to get a 40% increase, and you're going to increase it up to 160 times, making you think that, oh, you can actually revive 4 times. That's actually not the case. Keep in mind that your original activate, when you activate, your original commander damage boost is going to be 80%. And the way this card works, it has 2 revives. It has the first one, which is the passive Encore, so you'll revive 1 time. And when that happens, you're going to increase your damage by 40%, so now you're at 120%. If you die a second time, you have a last stand revive. This happens a second time. So with this card, you get 2 revives, and then you're going to get an additional 40% boost to your deck, and that gives you basically a 160% damage boost from this card. And so having the passive ability and also last stand makes it a good guild versus guild type card, because you can revive twice. And anytime you can revive more than once, it's going to be very helpful for these difficult boss fights. And so with this particular last stand though, if you take a look, what happens is the first time you die, you'll revive, and you're going to heal 6,000 heal recovery. So you'll revive and you'll heal with some health. The second time that you revive, you're going to fully heal, so you're going to get all of your health back, and then your drop rate of Earth Gems is going to be increased. There's no additional damage boost, unlike what we saw in one of the Fire Commander cards. So this is what you can get with this particular card. So mostly it's going to be the potential for 160% damage boost, and then Power Gem 6s and potential for Power Gem 5s, but that depends on your other cards in the... Depending on other cards in your deck, it has to be Earth Commander cards. So what we can do is we can take a look at the Master Collection card here, which is Diego the Songbird. And Diego the Songbird is going to have 13 times Bounty Hunter bonus for this event. And the battle skill here creates 4 Power Gem 6s, and it's going to also have a increase of attack damage boost by 80%. So this will power up the ultimate form as well. So when you activate this card, it's going to cause the ultimate form to create 4 Power Gem 5s. And then if you were to revive twice, you can have your damage boost up to 160%. And this is going to be for itself as well. So then you have the ultimate form and your Master Collection card. So your total damage boost is going to be 160 from ultimate form multiplied by 160% from the Master Collection card. So it's because it's damage boost, you don't just add them, you multiply them, so you get a really nice damage boost on the second time you revive. All right, so just having 1 Master Collection card and 1 ultimate form is going to give you a really big boost for all Earth Commander cards. The card itself also gives you a passive revive that heals you for 6,000% heal recovery. But you can't revive more than twice. So no matter how many cards you have that gives you, last stand or revive, you will not be able to revive more than twice. So keep that in mind as well. Now we have the ultra rare card, Quick Step Juanita. This card is going to give you, if you take a look at battle skill, it gives you Power Gem 5s when you activate it. And then it's going to basically generate more Power Gems when you receive any commander upgrades or commander attack or damage boost. So this one's going to give you the Power Gems, and then if you have other cards that give you boosts, like the Master Collection card or Ultimate Form, then you're going to create additional Power Gem 5s also. Now this card has Last Stand, and so what this does is when you die the first time, it's going to give you Last Stand. Okay, and so if you have the Ultimate Form, if you have the Ultra Rare card, and also the Master Collection card together, I think what happens here is the Ultra Rare card, because it stacks with your revive. So if you have a card that revives normally, and then you have this card Last Stand, this revival actually happened afterwards. So it's not going to happen together, which is nice. Which means you can add another card that's let's say you have just this card, Quick Step Juanita, and you have another card that gives you a normal revive. What happens here is now you can have your normal revive from your other card, and Last Stand will not take place until the second time you need to revive. So this gives you that ability to give you that, that double boost from Last Stand. So this card, by having Last Stand on its own, even though it doesn't have normal revive, means you can pair this with any other card. For example, Jailers, which is an Earth Commander card, and you have a normal revive plus Last Stand. So this is a nice feature for this card, which you may not realize that that's how it works, but hopefully that makes sense. Now we have the main event hero, Desperado Hernan, and this card will create 4 Power Gem 4s, and then it will increase its own damage by 50% for 2 turns. So that's nice. It doesn't increase other damage, but it increases its own. 50% is still a pretty good damage boost. And when you activate a Revive or Last Stand, so if you have any other cards that give you Revive, it also increases your buff by 25% up to 100%. So you could theoretically get your, Desperado Hernan. It can be, you could have a 100% damage boost instead of 50. So this card could theoretically deal quite a bit of damage if you have just this card, but you can pair it with another card that revives, so it increases the damage. That's helpful. Again, something like Jailers, which has a revive. If you die, then you come back stronger and you can deal more damage. Now we can take a look at the support card here, and that is going to be Juanita the Dancer. So Juanita the Dancer is a support card here, and its battle skill is sort of like, the same, where it creates 10 Earth Gems, nothing more, and the passive ability increases the Earth gem drop rate. So no additional passive ability that heals or anything like that. It's just straight up, gem creation and then increased drop rate. And we can also talk about the dispels. So the support card will deal dispel poison. So what we have to deal with right now are poison. And we can take a look at the ultra rare cards. So poison and blind. So blind is another one that we have to worry about. And then finally, Diego is going to have toxin. So we have toxin, blind, and also poison. All of these are debuffs. So if you have any card that dispels debuffs for all of your heroes, that's something you can use. And what we can do now is we can take a look at the cards here. So if we take a look at the Earth commander cards, the cards that you should consider if you have the team, or not, but definitely one of them you'll want to work with is Brothers in Banditry if you have this. So anytime you have a deck that boosts damage boost for all Earth commanders, Brothers in Banditry is going to significantly benefit from it because it gives itself a 300% damage increase for the card. And so what that means is when you activate your ultimate form for the matriarch, what is it called? Mariachi Marauders, you're going to get the initial 80%, and then another 300% on top of that. So that's going to make that card deal a lot more damage. And of course, if you revive it a second time, it's going to be significantly increased also. We've seen this in the previous Earth Commander event where Brothers in Banditry benefited the most from the damage boost. And so if you have the previous Earth Commander deck as well, put them all together because of all of these damage boosts is what's going to allow you to get 500% damage boost. A 500% overkill on the solo bosses, etc. So that is going to definitely be a card that you're going to want to use. I think that the deck from this particular Arcane Killer is going to be good as well. So I have the Starfall Hunter card. So I purchased this with my extra coins, thinking that it would be good if I could forge the ultimate form. So Starfall Hunter will increase the Earth Commander damage by 80% for a turn. Has a 3-turn cooldown, but you can increase the damage. So this is definitely a card that I'm going to want to use, and so you definitely want to consider pairing the previous commander's ultimate form with this particular deck. So for sure, I'm going to have without any boost. What I will do is I will definitely include these two right off the bat because I have them. This is what I'm going to use, and then another card that you'll want to put in with the Brothers in Banditry is going to be, you could probably put in also the Master Collection card, Robin of Furwood, just because these cards all give additional power gems. So like this one gives 80%, 80% to all Earth commanders. So this one's going to benefit everyone. All right. And if we take a look at some of the other cards in here, like I said, Jailers is going to give you boost, but it's only going to boost arcane cards. All right. So if you you don't always use Jailers just because it is there, but if you have the right killer skill, then that is something they could potentially use. Now I have it is a beast killer deck, and so what I have here is I have Awakened Dream Guardian, which is the ultra rare card version for Visions of the Void. That's going to be a useful card here as well because it also gives you Earth. It also gives you Beast Killer damage boost. So this is going to increase the damage of beast killers rather than all commanders. And so if you have this, then you're going to want to pair it with your event team because it gives you additional buff as well. Plus the increased gem drop rate, plus the fact that the ultimate form is going to destroy all gems in the beginning works out really well as well. So this is another card that I could potentially put in there. And now, sort of my challenge is going to be that I don't have a Earth Beast killer for Commander at all. And so it is going to be a challenge for me. So despite the fact that I have, 80% damage boost plus another 300% damage boost for my Brothers of Banditry, I don't actually have any killer boost at all whatsoever. And so one of the things that I could potentially do is basically to use any of these cards, something to this effect, right? So like I could theoretically just say, well, let's just try using Jailers with the 50% damage boost and then its own 1200% attack boost, see how it goes. But it's likely that I'm going to probably do something like this instead. Like I might as well just go all in with the commander attack. So that's one option. If I wanted to go with Slayer though, so keep in mind I don't have the Earth Commander Beast Killer at all. And so with the other option I have here though is I could do something like using the Protectors of Prosperity, which is a Earth Slayer version of the Beast Killer deck. And so we could use this, we could put in Rashmi here, but the problem with this particular deck is that it doesn't have very good gen spawn capabilities whatsoever. All right, so you're gonna have to use cards that will give you better gem spawn. And if we're talking about Slayers, some of the cards that give you really good Earth gem spawns is going to be Reaping Royalty, which creates gems at the beginning of every turn. That's one. Another one that's also really good is going to be Verdan Druid, which also creates I think 5. Let's see. As long as there is a Earth gem, it creates 6 power gems, but it creates power gem 3. So the number of power gems increases, but the power gem level decreases. And so that's something that you could potentially use. But I think I prefer Reaping Royalty in this case because Reaping Royalty also dispels all debuffs. Okay, so you'll dispel blind, you'll dispel poison, you'll dispel toxin, all of those will be dispelled, and so that would be a good option there. And then so given this, what I could do is I could potentially just do something like this, and I could now add in a arcane commander. So for me in this particular case, now I can do something to this effect where I boost my hard-won gorillas, and then I use jailers to boost it, dispel it with Reaping Royalty, and try to get as much damage as I can in this situation. So this is sort of like how I would do it for Slayer version. Now another thing to think about also is if you have Brothers in Banditry, this card also has a passive ability that will, is it this one right here? Let's take a look. There's a card that will dispel whenever you attack. I thought it was Brothers in Banditry. Maybe it was in another deck. Let me just take a look and see. There's a card that whenever it attacks, it does something. Oh, here it is. It's actually Starfall Hunter. It's not Brothers in Banditry. Starfall Hunter also has this ability where whenever you attack, it cleanses all instants of blind. So at the very minimum, in this particular deck, I already have something that will dispel blind for me. Now, I don't think I have anything that dispels poison in this particular setup. I have something that covers Gem Silence, and I have, I think, Gem Silence here as well. So Gem Silence and Judgment. So I'm not going to be able to dispel poison. I'm not going to be able to dispel toxin. I think toxin is going to be okay for me because I don't really heal in this deck, right? So there's no heal. This one just has increased damage. And so poison is one I'm going to have to really deal with. And so if we take a look, we're going to have to worry about poison in this particular setup. And it is important. So poison will kill you. So if you are hit with poison, at the end of the turn, it's going to damage you, and if you don't have enough health, you will die from it. You could benefit from using the Revive to give you additional damage boost with that, but if you don't have the event deck, you have to really worry about dispelling poison. And unfortunately, you can see here, there's not a lot of recent Earth Commander cards that dispel it, Dojin being the best choice for you. And if you don't use if you don't use commander cards, you could use Ward. There's no Earth Warden I have that has it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a look at the codex instead of what I have, because I don't have all the cards available right now. So if we take a look at Earth and we take a look at Warden that dispels poison, let's see if there is any options here. All right, so we have 3 cards that. So if so Illuminatus will dispel poison. So if that is something that you're struggling with, hopefully you have this, because it's a very old Warden, so you might have received it at some point. You might have this, you might have dusted it, whatnot. You can get it back, and that will help you with dispelling poison, so that can keep you alive. And so this particular event deck, like if I sort of like now talk about whether it's a good deck or not, and also like how well it plays with the other decks, I would say that this deck is a purely Earth Commander type deck. It will work really well with the previous deck for sure, like the previous card. So if you take a look at this one, so let's go, and I'm going to show you the ultimate form here. So we'll do evolve so they can show you the ultimate form. So if you have United Shard Bearers, okay, so this one also has an 80% increased damage, so it's going to work really well with the current event deck. You're going to get the revive that's going to help you survive better. This one is going to dispel blind and also panic, so you have some support there, but it doesn't dispel poison, but the event deck will get you there. So this one, United Shard Bearers, is going to give you a lot of power gems as well. It gives you a power gem at the beginning of the turn, and also gives you battle skill power gems. And then this also will power up your ultimate form, right? Mariachi Marauder. So whenever you activate this card, you're going to gain more power gems as well. And so it is going to be a deck that will be powerful as long as you have good Earth Commander cards. Is it a good deck to get for future use? I would say it is, because number one, if you have a Earth GVG attacker, this deck is going to be good because of its double revive. Anytime you have double revive, it's always going to be much more helpful than one without. Okay, so that gives you a little flexibility, a little breathing room in case you make a mistake. And also, it does have a lot of power gem creation possibilities, as long as you have cards that also give you attack boost / damage boost. And I think that utility-wise, will you use this ultimate form in the future? I would say probably yes, right? Because you're always going to want to use the 80% damage boost, with the possibility of going up to 120 and 160 damage boost. That's a lot. And so I can't see future Earth Commander events not using this ultimate form. So it is one of those, I would say, one of those cards that will fit into a sort of a meta in the future events, where no matter what Earth Commander events you have, you'll probably use this deck for a long time. And so it is going to be a deck that is worth using, especially if you have an Earth attack deck for Guild versus Guild. Definitely going to be a deck that I think is going to be useful. So of the events so far that I've seen, this is probably going to be a contender for the card that I would say you should probably consider forging it based on the conditions that I've already talked about. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be strong, especially if you have like some of the other cards that you can pair with it. So Visions of Void plus United Shard Bearers, and then the Mariachi Marauders. These 3 cards combined is probably going to give you a really good amount of damage to and then combine that with Brothers of Banditry. I think you're going to have no problems getting really good damage in this particular event. So that's going to be my assessment here. Can't show you the deck in action, but really the thing here is there's really nothing special other than you just you're probably going to want to revive to get the most damage, but aside from that, it's a 2-turn deck, works really fast. Just activate everything. There's no specific special order or anything like that. So give that a shot. Hopefully you have better luck than I do in the 4 tiers that I try in Vault. And then let me know in the comments below also what your favorite setup is going to be, and when the event starts, I'll see what I can do to showcase some of the other deck ideas. But until then, this is going to be it from me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.